FBI and is pretty much, agreeing to pretty much tell them everything. Now, the word came down earlier from TMZ that Tekashi 6ix9ine on January the 23rd pleaded guilty to multiple counts of racketeering, conspiracy, firearms, narcotic trafficking, people are now pretty much saying that if he's, taking a deal with them, he's pretty much willing to, tell on everybody and everything. And this is what it looks like, right now. Now, according to the documents, the rapper and his associates are a part of the 9 Trey Blood Gangster, a criminal organization whose members and associates engage in, among other activities, acts involving murder, robbery, and narcotics trafficking. Now, Tekashi 6ix9ine was singing like a bird. He did say that he shot at an individual who was a rival gang member, participated in a gunpoint robbery of rivals of the 9 Trey. He also, was charged in the conspiracy to distribute over 1 kilogram of a substance that could be detectable, pretty much heroin. He pretty much told, and some other things, that he was pretty much telling. Now, also, they're saying that he is going to pretty much, agree to give up any and every member that he ever ran with, meaning that he will be snitching.
Absolutely. Well, yeah. I mean, he told on himself. So, good and goddamn well, he was going to tell on everybody else. As soon as we found out, it came out of his mouth on everything he did. Now, you got a lot of people saying, obviously, this dude was never built like that, was never going to be in a situation where he didn't tell. Well, a lot of those people were also the same people, myself included, saying that he may not have been in gangs at all. This may have all been a facade. This may all have been fake. And now we come to find out that no, in fact, that wasn't fake. That was very real. He admitted on helping people pull out acts of murder, drugs, trafficking. He told on it all. So if you think he told that, oh yeah, he's about to tell everything. Now, I want to get into it a little bit, and I want to take this a little, I don't want to rush into this. I want to take this slow. But what does it mean about him snitching? Now, we both talked about, obviously, we had the feeling soon as he went in back in November that some singing was about to be done. And then the discussion came about on whether or not it was justified. What are your thoughts on that?
Justified him snitching?
Yeah.
I mean, how? I mean,
based on what we knew, what we thought we knew or didn't know, is whether or not 6ix9ine even a part of this. Was this a whole publicity stunt? Based off of that argument, and now what we know now.
I mean, that's the the initial argument that they tried to come with, like, he was just playing around, but now he's coming out and saying, look, I was a part of this shit. I was a part of the gang. We admitted, we did robberies, we shot people, we sold dope, we did all of that. So that argument is out the window now. Him saying that, that he can't, it was just for the camera. Nah, you admitted that you're a part of this gang. You're taking the plea deal. So now what comes along with this is, okay, 6ix9ine, what did you do? Who'd you do it with? Oh, you did it with Shotty. Tell us how this went down. Okay, in exchange for that, what we're going to do is, and like they said, they're going to write a letter. They're going to write a letter, to the government's going to write a letter to the judge recommending leniency, which meaning that if you already told all of this, that it's pretty much like, a guarantee that he's going to tell on these guys at this point. It's pretty much guaranteed.
If he told on himself, he's going to tell on all of them.
Right.
Why not?
Right. Because it's like you put your foot in the water, you got to jump in now with the feds. If not, they're going to, anybody who would tell you, that if you don't cooperate all the way, then you could be, looked at as a hostile witness. So you got to give them everything. You know what I mean?
Does this, now that everything is seemingly playing out now, he won't be sentenced officially till 2020, January, end of January of 2020. So he has another year, obviously, to continue just to go and tell on people and do what he has to do until he eventually gets sentenced. What does this say to his career? Now, 2017, he couldn't have been the hottest. 2018, excuse me, he was the hottest thing out, the most talked about person out here. And now 2019, at 23 years old, 22 years old, it's seeming as though his life is over. Whether he does 10 years, 15 years, yeah, he may get out of prison because he's singing and telling on everybody. But what does this mean? The money's gone. The women are going to be gone. The rap career is gone.
Right.
He's done.
Well, I think they said earlier, to give people a little bit more clarity on, how long he could be. 47, I think they said right now is the max. So he's, trying to get that letter now to get, it down. So we don't know. It could be anywhere. Who knows what they're going to, try to slap on him, You know, people are saying 10, 15, 20, who knows? But yeah, I think, you know, career maybe not over, but as far as what he stood for as a rapper, that's over. That image of him trying to be a thug, maybe he can just do the Latin music, you know, and kind of blend into that, you know, when he gets out. What is he, 20, 24, 25? 22. So, you know, 10 years, he come out, he's mid-30s, you know, maybe he can, you know, again, you know, do the Latin thing. Or, but as far as that image as him being a thug, you know, I'll come to your city, what you going to do? Nobody can touch me. That's done. His music career may be over too, because not that many people can, you know, sit in prison for a decade plus and come back out and be strong. It's almost impossible.
You know, according to the reports on TMZ, they were saying that while in court, he said that he joined 9 Trey Bloods in the fall of 2017, and in March 20th of 2018, he admitted in helping members of the gang attempt to kill a rival to increase his own standing in 9 Trey. Then on April 3rd, he said that he and other members robbed another rival at gunpoint. He got into the Chief Keef shooting, saying in court he paid a person to shoot a rival member of the 9 Trey to scare him. The shooting took place in Manhattan. He also admitted to selling the drugs. What I was trying to get to is he said that the reason why he did that was to maintain or increase his own standing in 9 Trey. What I'm trying to get to is this a situation you think, oh God, where this was a kid just trying to prove himself, not really about this at all, and the music and the persona just got ahead of him, and then he just really had to kind of almost live that lie out to where it was true, and he was doing shit out here that he wasn't really ready for. Do you think that's happening, or do you think this was a genuine case of Daniel Hernandez being involved in the gang this entire time, walking in a career in the gang, and this was really the life that he lived? Because if so, what the fuck is he singing for?
Well, I think he knew, you know what I mean? 22, he's an adult. I think he knew exactly, you know, what he was doing, you know, in the streets and whatnot. Maybe he didn't, you know, you got a lot of guys who are knuckleheads and they really don't think about the consequences, or they don't give a fuck. So, you know, I think he knew fair well. I don't think he can, you know, sit back and take this stance like, oh, you know, I was just, you know, a young kid being influenced by these people to do this. I was pressured into this. Then, you know, once you're an adult, I mean, you make adult decisions. You got full, you know, control over what you do. Now, if he was, you know, trying to prove himself, I think that's nutty. I mean, because now look where he's at. Why do that though? If you're a successful rapper or move to be a successful rapper, why the gangster image? Why try to prove that you're somebody that you're not? You know what I'm saying?
Well, without that gangster image, oh God, can we honestly sit here and say he would be where he was today if it wasn't for that? If it wasn't that driving this whole image, driving his music? Because I mean, outside of the people that the 13 to 17-year-old demographic, no one was taking his music very seriously. It wasn't something we were bumping in our car. It was the beats might have been crazy, might have been something you can listen to in the club, but genuine hip hop music, nah, that's a joke. So where does it stand? Was it the music, or was he really genuinely trying to portray an image? I don't know, because if you ask me, if it wasn't for the whole Treyway persona and things like that, his music wouldn't win anywhere.
I mean, yeah, I mean, still, I get it, but it's still like, I mean, people, you know, like the rhythm of the music, they like the, you know, the tempo of the music, even if they didn't know what he was about, you know what I mean, in the street. I mean, the music resonated with, you know, different people. But yeah, I get it. I mean, everybody in rap, that's like the thing to be. It's not like a soft rapper who, you know, you don't consider you a rapper, you like the personas, you're tough, you're from the street, you'll knock somebody out, you'll shoot this guy. This is the whole persona that most rappers, you know, carry. And it's cool to be a backpack rapper. We see a lot of them. You don't always have to be a street dude. And just because you're not a street dude don't mean you won't lay somebody on their back either. A lot of guys think just because they, you know, so-called did things in the street that they can just pick on people and do it. Nah, that's not going to happen either. You got guys who, suburban cats, you know, maybe, you know, in the nice houses, but to put you on your back and are ready for that at all times. But, you know, yeah, I just think, you know, 6ix9ine is like a lot of, you know, probably thousands of kids, you know, in America, in the United States, they, you know, misled, trying to follow the crowd, doing all types of stupid, you know, dumb things and ending up in prison. If you go to prison, you go to your county jail, you'll see, you know, hundreds of 6ix9ines in there, just crazy, wild dudes.
And the thing is, though, now today, because you point a picture like, okay, you got these kids out here that want to portray a gangster lifestyle, want to seem as though they're cool. by sitting here doing this, but the original even premise of it was not getting on the phone and talking about it, not running your mouth, not showing your hand, not doing this. And like you said, there's a ton of 6ix9ines in jail right now that went there and showed their hand. And we're not going to sit here and act like 6ix9ine was the poster child for it, but he took trolling, he took the gangster image and portrayed it on camera and made it a lifestyle where it looked cool for these young kids on IG. I'm winning, I got the jewels, I'm saying this, I'm doing that. So hopefully in all of this, people and young kids can learn like, yo, this ain't the way to go, because in 365 days, you could be doing 47 years to life in prison, or you be singing like a bird. Now let's get back to the singing, because a lot of people are going to get on him. A lot of people are going to talk trash. And I was one to say early on that if he did sing, I mean, what do you expect him to do? In the event that he wasn't about that life. Now it seems as though he was about that life. And I have a huge issue with him going and telling on them people. And here's why. If you do dirt with somebody, if me and you go ahead and we decide that we're going to take it upon ourselves to do some shit that we know is fucked up, and we do it together, I get caught, I can't go and tell on you. Especially if you have a family, especially if you have this is the code that we live by. Now his son's mother or his baby mother was on there, and we ain't gonna get into the tea, but she kind of talked about like, you left me out here to dry, you got my family out here in danger. And with all seriousness, that's the kind of shit that comes with this kind of stuff. You can't tell for these reasons. You have people that you must protect. So how serious is that in regards to in this whole situation, as far as him telling?
I mean, yeah, I mean, you know, he, once again, you know, according to the street code, you know, if you're portraying his lifestyle, especially, and you got to think about, okay, if he's admitting that he's part of the non-Trey Bloods, you know what I mean? We're talking about, you know, an organization who has rules, you know, who has, you know, different, you know, things that people are supposed to do to be down and whatnot. So, you know, I understand that you have, you know, people in some, you know, different gang members, they like to characterize, you know, themselves as doing stuff. You have people, you know, I'm not saying you don't have people that don't do some, you know, some good things, but, you know, we know that the stigma on gangs pretty much is negative in this country. So when you're saying you're associated with the nine Trey Bloods, I mean, you're saying that you're a gangster, you down for that lifestyle. So, I mean, I don't, you know, I don't think he can get away from it. You know what I'm saying? At all. It's like, I'm pretty sure, like, if he were to tell, it should be a penalty for that. Like, if you with the gang and y'all got like, yo, if you tell, we got to do this to you. This is what it is. Because, you know, it's like, you know, it's like you see the movies, you see the kid, you know, I think on ATL when Big Boy, when he gave the dude the pack, and it's like, this is grown man. You know, this is grown man business, right? This ain't no play. This is real money. This is real product. You don't come back with it, I'm liable to put hands on you and maybe even do worse to you. So going into that, you got to know, you know what I'm saying, what it is. So he has to be held accountable, you know, for that. Now, I thought that he probably would rat, you know what I'm saying, being as though I don't think he was built like that. But according to the street code, he's dead wrong. It just is what it is.
If you're saying this stupid motherfucker, man. And I don't even, and then that's just my gut reaction. It's sad because if you ain't built for that, don't do it. And this, I can't help but to think that he got in over his head and he was trying to portray an image that he really wasn't and live a lie to its fullest degree. And now he's sitting somewhere caught up. It's crazy, man.
Now they're also, you know, speculating that once he does go all the way in and pretty much once he begins to give information on, you know, which they're saying that he already has other members that he was associated with, that he may have to go into the witness protection. You know what I mean? Because now you're talking about the report that came out that his girlfriend may be fearing for her life now. Witness protection, you know, in a jail now. We talked about that aspect in the beginning of him, you know, being in a jail. And now the word, you know, spreading throughout the, you know, the prison and whatnot, saying that this dude's a snitch. Somebody may, you know, want to take action. So they are saying, you know, I think the prosecution was saying that they may be, you know, recommending that he go into witness protection at some point. What do you think about, you know, that aspect of him just going into witness protection?
Well, obviously he's not safe in jail. If he while he's in prison, he's not safe. He's not safe around anybody or anything. The worst thing you could be is a pedophile, someone that took a kid, someone that took a woman, or a rat. And now he's probably going to be the most popularized rat wherever he sits at. You know what? It makes me think of something that you texted me earlier, because one of our people, they emailed you. And if you don't mind me reading what they emailed you, I want to read that to the people real quick in regards to what they were thinking was happening. Shout out, this is somebody that's potentially looking to intern with the brothers at Hip Hop News, Uncensored Viral Hip Hop News. Shout out to you. This is what they left OGOT. If 6ix9ine gets off with less than 6 years, it's my opinion, he snitched or he is the feds. Out here in the Bay Area, 707, where I'm from, Mac Dre was the first rapper to get caught up on a conspiracy charge. He went to jail just for knowing. Watch Jay Diggs' interview on Vlad TV. Dre wasn't in the car, wasn't in on any licks. They had a wire. They knew this. He still went to jail for knowing, period. Wasn't nobody shot. Wasn't no murder plots in Dre's situation. They're talking about putting hits out. If 6ix9ine don't go to real Fed prison after a trial, he was the informant all along or he snitched. Thank me for the game later. What's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, nah, definitely, you know, appreciate. I didn't get a chance to look at that video because they had a lot, you know, a different, you know, he broke them down in a lot of different videos. So I don't know exactly what video we're talking about, but do appreciate that email from that person who sent that. Yeah, I think, you know, I talked about that in the beginning. I said, I think there's a possibility this dude could be like an informant, you know, no proof, but just kind of looking at, you know, the way, you know, some things played out and, you know, the history of the government and what they, you know, could do. And you always got to know that they're always into street gangs. And ironically, he ends up in a 9 Trey Bloods, you know what I mean? You know, New York is the biggest city. And so it's like, come on, man, I don't know. They always talk about, you know, informant rappers or rappers who have taken other people's identity and ran with it. We can go on and on, you know, with those people in the industry. So I don't know, man. I think it's going to be telling, though, like the email said, what type of sentence does he get will say a lot here. If he gets off kind of, you know, slap on the wrist, not a lot, then we maybe, man, we don't really have the proof, but don't mean we can't look at the signs and speculate and talk about it and give our commentary on it.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Now, we know he's not going to get sentenced till 2020 in January. So we got damn near a full calendar year before we know anything and before we really have some details as to what's going on. And as far as what the person said in the email, I 100% agree. You got to really pay attention to the time. My gut reaction is telling me that he's not an informant. He's a kid, dumb kid who got caught up into life doing dumb shit, and the wall got closed in on him way too quick. They started throwing them real numbers at him. This tells me that the feds and their percentage in getting a man was right on point, because if he would have went to trial, he was doing life, and they know it, and he knows it. So the second he got those numbers, he got scared, and he started singing. He broke a real big code when it comes to the streets, and you just don't do that. Like I said before, initially when we first heard this, if he wasn't about this life, if he was just trying to portray an image, one could possibly not say that this, not to say that you're supposed to, but one could understand him telling you, being in this life, you're supposed to walk and talk this, and understanding what you got into don't look good for you, bro.
Yeah, I'm gonna I think it's Chevion TV. I think I'm saying it wrong, but I want to read his comment. He said he wasn't living a lie. He actually was committing crimes, and he's a sucker and a snitch. That's what he says about 6ix9ine. The other one I think is Lucci. They say even if he cooperates with the feds, he would do nothing less than a straight 10 before he goes on parole. If he gets less, he was an informant the whole time since the sexual assault case. And then that's another thing, you know, he does have those other, you know, charges, you know, so he's not going to look, you know, I'm not saying that I want to see him go to jail or nothing like that, but somebody looking at 47 years, I would say, you know, just me gauging it, 10 to 15, that I would think he might, you know, end up being sentenced with, and, you know,
that's what I was thinking, 10 to 15. And you know what else? I'm starting to take away that sympathy card for this dude. I really am. At first, I was feeling bad for the kid, getting into things he wasn't supposed to. And I feel bad to a certain degree, but you out here and you helping and insisting on shooting people, you throwing heroin out here, fentanyl, drugs into the community, you ordering hits on people, you portraying this to the kids and then doing this, and then you go and tell on the very people that you were doing the dirt with. That can't be respected.
Right.
That can't be respected. I don't feel bad for what's about to happen. If he goes to jail, he goes to jail. He's going to go to jail. 10 to 15 years should be at least what he gets. And that is what it is, man.
Yeah, and it's like to the people, you know, some people are saying, you know, he's not snitching, there's no proof. Well, according to the New York, you know, Times, they say that at a plea hearing, the prosecution said that Mr. Hernandez's cooperation was likely to reveal criminal activities of other people, and that he may eventually need to be placed in the witness protection. Once again, just to reiterate that, we just got finished talking about that. So everything is moving, you know, to the point, to the instance that he is going to give them all the information that they need in order to get a lighter sentence. And he won't stop now. Like, what's the point? Is like, he's going to tell now that this person did this. What's